Okay, guys. So, uh, as other people are still joining, they can definitely, but we have to start now. So, as you know, this is ethical theory, and if we do the revision regarding what we did previously, is there anyone who remembers what we did there in a previous session? And you can definitely get the idea that we were discussing regarding ethical theory. We are still in ethical theory. So you must have noticed that we were discussing regarding ethical theory in previous session too. So is there anyone who remembers what kind of theory we discussed there? Definitely you can tell us here in chat box. Otherwise, definitely I'm going to tell you what are there. So no problem. So what we are going to do is we'll do the revision of what we did previously, and afterwards I'll also tell you what we are going to do today as a part of today's session. So let me take you to our PPT. So previously, if you remember, we had a discussion regarding five different ethical theories. That means five different approaches are there, which is telling us what is the correct way and what is the incorrect way. So, what is the right, what is the wrong, what is the ethical way. So, we had a discussion on that, and as a part of discussion, we have seen five theories. So, let's again revise that so that you can definitely get the idea. We started with deontology as the first theory, where deontology is having a meaning that it is focusing more on duty and principle. It is given by Immanuel Kant. So, second name is very much popular on his name, that is Kantian theory. Here, the more importance is given on duty and principle, and it is saying that one should not have to check what could be the result. One should just have to follow his or her duty, and that's the main motto of this theory. So it is saying that consequence of actions are not the most important thing. Here the duties is given as more priority. And if you remember, we had a discussion that here we can take the example of Sri Ram from Ramayana, where there were so many incidents where Ram was following his duty, giving more importance to his duty, and still he accepted many of the adverse situation too. So he was actually not looking for what could be the result, what could be the consequence, but he was just focusing on his duty. So we took the example there, and then we also seen the list of duties prescribed by William David Rose. But then also we discussed that these are not final list. According to culture, according to religion, according to country, according to one's social environment, duties can be different. Then the next theory was utilitarianism, where we had a discussion that utilitarianism is completely opposite approach compared to deontology. Here, utilitarianism is having second name as consequentialism. Why? Because it is saying that one should have to focus on the consequence. What could be the result? And one should have to focus that where is the maximum benefit. So, maximum good to maximum number of people is the main motto of this theory. So it was a very wonderful theory, but it is having complete opposite meaning compared to deontology. So that was the second theory that we discussed there. The third theory is virtue theory, and here we discussed that the virtue theory is one of the oldest. It is provided by Aristotle, and virtue, it means acquired habit. That means some of the things which we keep towards self. Whenever we are growing, we do consider some of the qualities for ourselves, and that is actually helping us in deciding what is right, what is wrong, what is ethical. So here, main focus is given on virtue. That means it is also giving the importance to character of person. And if you remember, here we took the video example, where in that video example we had a discussion that when Batman was having opportunity to kill a Joker. Video was having example from your favorite movie, Batman, Dark Knight. So there, when Batman was having opportunity to kill a Joker, their deontology says that one should not have to kill. So according to that, killing a Joker should not be the appropriate thing. But utilitarianism saying that if by killing a Joker, if Batman can save many lives, then he can do it. But here, virtue theory is focusing on character of person. It says that whether Batman want to be such a person that he is going to take a life of his enemies. So there was virtue theory that we discussed there. The fourth one was right theory. Here, right theory means that one should have to act according to his or her rights. And if a person is taking any kind of action which is very much good from the rights given to him or her, then the person is not doing anything wrong. But at the same time, giving respect to other people's right is also important, and taking the accountability and responsibility towards the exercise of these rights is also given more priority here as a part of fourth theory. And fifth one was casuist theory, where casuist theory is telling us that one should have to solve the current ethical problem by looking at the past similar ethical problem. If somebody faced some ethical problem in the past, at that time person took some kind of decision and that proven to be right, so a person can use the same decision here to solve this current ethical problem. So this was the fifth theory, Casuist theory. So far, we completed this five theory as a part of previous session. So it is just a recap. Now, let me tell you what we are going to do today. So as a part of today's discussion, we are going to discuss about next five ethical theories. And all these five ethical theories are having their own separate meaning. They are going to tell us different meaning. And according to their thinking, uh, some of the things are ethical, some of the things are unethical. So we are going to check all the aspects. In between, there will be some video examples. So we are also going to witness some of the videos. And then I'll also tell you one story. With the help of one theory, there is one story. So what I'll do is I'll also tell you one story, and from that story, I'll ask few questions to you, and then we'll check your responses too. What you are going to do if you are that person. So a hypothetical story I'll tell to you. Then at the end of this session, we are going to have one activity. So in that activity, all of you are going to participate and we'll see how you are going to perform there. So let's start with the next theory. That means theory number six. This theory six is moral absolutism, while seventh theory is going to focus on moral relativism. So before that, we are going to learn about what is moral absolutism. So actually, moral absolutism is saying that there should be only one right perspective. It is saying that uh, if something is decided about ethical, unethical, then there should be only one opinion. That means everybody should have to follow one right perspective. Now, if I'll give some example regarding moral absolutism, so we can take few examples from our society and from around the world as well, because it is saying that even it is not going to be changed from any of the references, as the next point is saying that there are things that are absolutely true irrespective of any contextual differences. So we do know that murder is a criminal thing. Murder is also unethical thing. So if a person who is living here, uh, he or she should also have to believe that yes, murder is criminal thing. One should have to accept that it is unethical thing. So even all the countries are having this right, this one right perspective that they are considering that murder is a criminal thing and it is unethical thing. Similarly, there are many examples like robbing a bank, stealing something. So all these crimes are considered as unethical, which moral absolutism rightly pointing out. But there is some loophole regarding this moral absolutism theory. So for that, what I'll do is I'll take you to one video example, and then we are going to see one video there. Yeah, Zakir is saying that self defense में किसी का murder हो जाए तो ethical है कि नहीं. Okay, Zakir, there are many theories, and all the theories are having their own different perspective. So still, we haven't completed the list. After we complete the list, you will get to know that whether it is ethical or not. Right? So just wait. So I'll take you to one video example. Let's go for it. Yeah, I think the whole screen is visible to you. We are about to start the video. So let's start.
Moral absolutism. Moral absolutism asserts that there are certain universal moral principles by which all people's actions may be judged. It is a form of deontology. The challenge with moral absolutism, however, is that there will always be strong disagreements about which moral principles are correct and which are incorrect. For example, most people around the world probably accept the idea that we should treat others as we wish to be treated ourselves. But beyond that, people from different countries likely hold varying views about everything, from the morality of abortion and capital punishment to nepotism and bribery.
So this is one video where it is giving a flip side of moral absolutism, where it is criticizing with the help of few example. It is saying that sometimes moral absolutism is not applicable everywhere. As a few examples were there, that we do know that there should be one right perspective, but it is not applicable in every situation. There was an example like if we consider regarding abortion. So abortion in different countries, they are having different rules and regulations, and according to them, they are considering whether it is ethical or unethical. Similarly, if I'll give some different example, then we do know that checking gender of any child here in India is completely prohibited. Checking gender of unborn child. So let's say that a couple is expecting their child, and there here in India, one cannot check up the gender of upcoming child. But it is completely legal in many of the Western world, where US is also having this as one of the right. So their parents are checking their babies, upcoming babies' gender, and then based on that, they are actually doing party and they are doing celebration. They are also doing planning whether they are going to get boy or girl. So based on that, they are thinking that yes. So if we think that Western world is having this perspective and Indian is having this perspective, why? Because we do know that previously uh, Indians, many of the Indians were using misusing this technology. Right now, the technology is growing up, but that was having a bad impact on our Indian society. Many of the people, when they got to know the gender of their upcoming child, they were using abortion as one of the techniques. So they were aborting their child. And why? Because they were not preferring girl child. They were giving preference to a boy child. So if they are going to have female uh, girl child, then they are aborting. So many of the cases were reported. After that, we do know that here in India there is completely prohibited. It is a criminal act that if you are going to check the unborn child's gender, then you may get some kind of punishment. But if we look at the other aspect, other countries are allowing it. So that's why moral absolutism cannot be applicable everywhere. There should not be like if India is considering that this is unethical, the whole world should have to consider that this is unethical. So that is one of the negative side. Now let's check the seventh theory, that is moral relativism. So moral relativism, it is saying that an action may be justified in one case but may not be acceptable in another. Like we already discussed regarding checking gender of unborn child. So you can definitely relate here. Here in India, we are thinking that it is unethical, but Western world are accepting it. So this is rightly pointed out in moral relativism. It is uh, here suggesting that there can be different things. One can see that this is ethical. One other can see that other is ethical thing. So, moral relativism believes that similar moral rules or code of conduct cannot be set and applied in the case of different nature. So, that's the main message here of moral relativism. Now, let's go for theory number 8. Theory number 8 is moral pluralism. Here, uh, it is saying that there, for one particular situation, there can be many good options, and all the options can have equally ethical way. And if we are going to choose between equally desirable option, then there can be conflict as well. So here the main message of moral pluralism says that moral ethics or value pluralism is the idea that there are many human values which are equally good but can come into conflict with each other in a given situation. To give you more idea regarding this, we are having examples. So I'll show you one video, and then you can definitely get to know about its idea.
Moral pluralism. Moral pluralism is the idea that there can be conflicting moral views that are each worthy of respect. Moral pluralists tend to be open-minded when faced with competing viewpoints. They analyze issues from several moral points of view before deciding and taking action. Moral pluralists believe that many moral issues are extremely complicated. Thus, no single philosophical approach will always provide all the answers. For example, assume a building is on fire. A woman has the opportunity to rush inside and save the children trapped in the burning building. But in doing this, she may die and leave her own child an orphan. A moral pluralist would conclude that there is no definitive way to decide which is the better course of moral action. Indeed, moral pluralism declares that it is sometimes difficult to choose between competing values. So, moral pluralism occupies a sensible middle ground between there is only one right answer, as moral absolutism says, and there is no wrong answer, as moral relativism claims.
So the video was very informative, and it was giving us idea regarding one of the example regarding moral pluralism. The example was already well captured, I guess, by you. There was one building which was on fire, and the lady was dead. She is going to help those people. So there is one option that if she is going to save those people who are trapped in the building, so she is going to do ethical work because saving people, saving lives is ethical way. So that's the one. But on the other side, if she is going to go there in the building, so there is a chance that she may also die. She may lose her own life too, and she may make her own child orphan too. So both the options, if while not going there also, one of the things that she is losing the first option, and while if she is going to choose the first option, then there will be definitely conflict with the second option. So that's why moral pluralism sees that many times we do face some of these situations in which more than one could be the correct option, and we are unable to choose which one is the correct option, which one is the ethical way, which one is the not ethical way, because all are equally good. So that's why this is very conflicting situation in which one cannot decide which one is the right, which one is the wrong. If I'll give you further more example here, it says that individual liberty is a value held dear by all. However, this can come into conflict with public order. For example, one, it says that playing loud music on your stereo system is your liberty. You can definitely, right? If you are purchasing a big stereo system, there definitely your intention is to hear the loud music. But uh, for you, it is very big enjoyment. But if it is going to affect the peace of your neighborhood, then it is definitely there is a conflict because they are considering you as unethical. Though you are just using your rights, you are exercising your rights, and because of your rights, you are playing a music. But it is definitely going to problem create a problem for other people. So there, definitely, we cannot say that this is the only right approach. While the second one is saying that death sentence in many countries. We do know that here in India, our law system is taking a huge amount of time whenever they are going to decide that whether somebody is guilty or not, and after that, whether to give death penalty or not. But if we compare other countries' law system, that we do know that many of the countries are taking their decision very quickly, and they are identifying the guilty person very quickly, and then they are giving death penalty. Some of the countries are giving death penalty in the open public area, where they are also inviting many of the people to witness this death penalty. While if we compare our Indian system, even though a person is going to get the death penalty, then it should have to be a very secret task. That means no public, even no media should be there. So it should not have to telecast live, and there should be maintained a secrecy there. So if we look at the this part regarding death sentence, then countries' point of view, their law system may vary. Now, what I'll do is I'll tell you one story. As I told you, we are going for one story. So it is very interesting story. And after end of this story, what I'll do is I'll ask few questions to you. So you have to pay more attention here. And this story is not going to be there on PPT. I'm just going to tell you the story. So hear me properly. And after ending that story, I'll ask a question. Okay. So let's start. This is the story of Inspector Vijay. This is the name of that person. This Inspector Vijay, if we discuss regarding his background, then a person is belong to very ethical way. That means he is considering his duty very religiously, and he is giving priority to the honesty, ethical way more. While whenever he is going to perform his duty. Now, Vijay is actually having one daughter. She is of 18 years age. Uh, before few months, his daughter, when she went to market and after coming from market, she noticed that there were few people, few boys, a group of boys, and when she passed nearby them, they started using abusive words. They started using some inappropriate behavior. So, because of their verbal behavior and because of this incident happened with the girl, and the people, the boys were not behaving so properly. It was a proper way, and that kind of harassment happened with her. So she was very upset with this incident. And after that, when she came home, because of that upset mindset, she locked herself in one room for many days. And because of her behavior, all the family members, including Vijay, Inspector Vijay, they were worried that what happened with this girl. After a few days, they got to know that this kind of things happened with her. So Vijay started the investigation. But at that time, Vijay was unable to find those people as well as the evidence too. So uh, then time passed, and six after 6 months, there was another case which was registered against the same boys who harassed Vijay's daughter. Now, this case came to Vijay, and Vijay started the investigation. Vijay was actually not aware before that these are the same boys who harassed his daughter. So Vijay definitely he did investigation. He found the evidence regarding the second case. Mind you, this is about second case, not about the first case. So after investigation, Vijay got to know that these people, these boys, are not involved in the second case. They are innocent in this second case. But in between, Vijay got to know that these are the same people who harassed his daughter. So now I'm going to ask a question to you. So first question, that what Vijay should have to do now? You are having two options. I'll give both the options. Option number one is saying that Vijay should have to punish them, make them. Vijay should have to do a false charges and make them liable for the second case. Though the evidence, even though Vijay is aware that they are not involved in the second case, but this is completely in Vijay's hand. Vijay can play with the evidence, can provide the fake evidence too, and then punish those boys and make them guilty. So that's the first option. While option number two, it says that Vijay should have to let them free because they are innocent in the second case. So now, what what's your answers, guys? You can tell me what you're thinking. As Inspector Vijay, what you will choose? Option number one or option number two? Do tell me. So I'll wait for your answer in this chat box. We can discuss here. As Inspector Vijay, what do you think? Which one is the appropriate way? Whether to make a false charges on those boys and take actions against them as they harassed his daughter, and as a father, he can take the revenge now. Or option number two, Vijay should have to let them free because they are not involved in the second case. Those boys are not involved in second case. So, what do you think? What is the appropriate thing here? Okay, Zakir is saying encounter. Zakir, we haven't discussed regarding any of the other options. You are having only two options. Tell me whether option number one or option number two. Guys, I would request everyone to participate here and give me your reply so that we can definitely go for the discussion and we can get to know about your reasoning too. What do you find as appropriate way? So Ayush, uh, Aditya, Anuj, Bharti, Darshan, Sudarshan, Deep, Devansh, Dhruvi, Divyajit, Harshvardhan, Hitesh, Isha, Tanvi, Jay, Jaydev, Jignesh, Runal, Mano, Meghna, Mohammed, Mohammed, Nidhi, Nikita, Pathik, Pranjul, Priyanshu, Riddhi, Rishabh, Meet, Tanmay, Tushar, Vibhusha, Vidhi, Yash, Nishant. Zakir already replied. So. Okay, so we got one more. Vijay must let them free according to second case. Okay, so that's the answer we got from Aditya. Yeah, guys, other people can also give me your reply so that I can get to know that you are listening me carefully and you are here. Darshan is saying same as Aditya. Okay, so definitely first provide me your response Yashang is also saying must let them free. I hope you are considering that Vijay's daughter was harassed by those boys, and earlier Vijay was unable to find the evidence. But and this is the 6 months old case. I hope you are also considering that aspect. Why do you think that Vijay should have to let them free? Darshan, sorry, Yashang and Mano also says the same thing. Must let them free. Let them free. Give me your reason. Why you think that this is the appropriate way? If he is going to let them free, then don't you think that as a father he is not doing his duty? As a father, he should have to take the revenge and should have to give justice to his own daughter, right? Aditya is saying investigating, he won't get anything against him. But we do know that Aditya that there can be things which he can play. He can play with the evidence, right? And he can make a false charges. As I already said with option number one, he can file a false charges against them, and then can punish them, can prove them they are guilty there. False evidence could be there. Zakir is saying Vijay should punish them because they need to stop harassing. Okay. So, Zakir, do you support option number one? Are you suggesting that Inspector Vijay should have to go for option number one? Okay, so he's saying yes. So there is one guy who is saying that option number one is the appropriate one, but many of the people are saying option number two, let them free. Aditya is saying that yes, but he want to punish them first, let her daughter to register the case, then puts the charges on them. Okay, but as I told you, Vijay already did the investigation previously. That means previously the case was registered, but at that time Vijay got just a failure. So Darshan is saying that, but so second case make their life bad. I haven't told you that what is the second case. It is just one thing that there is some another case happened, second case happened. Do you think that they are also innocent in the first case? What they did with Vijay's daughter, harassment, was appropriate one. And those who are saying that, yeah, Zakir, to you that you think that Vijay should have to go for option number one, then he is actually discounting his professional ethics there. If Vijay is going to choose second option, there he is professionally right. He is following professional ethics. But what about his personal ethics? What about his duty towards his daughter? So my question to both option is this: if Vijay is going to choose first option, where Vijay is giving importance to personal ethics, but he is actually not giving importance to professional ethics. Professionally, he should not have to do it, right? And if he's going for option number two, there he's paying his professional duties. Professional ethics is observed there, but at the same time, personal ethics is not observed, right? So here, Aditya is saying that okay, if the first case was registered, then he must take action on the boys according to the first case, even though he got the evidence later. But sometimes we do know that if now in some of the cases, if there are no enough evidence, then uh, they should have to close the case. So, as I told you, this is 6 months ago. This thing happened. Okay, let's end the discussion here because it is never ending, and all people do have their own different point too. So basically, to have this story here, my main aim was to give you idea that sometime there can be conflicting situation where, as I already gave the information regarding Vijay's background, that he is very honest guy. He is giving priority to his ethics. So there, whether to follow a professional ethics, whether to give importance to that beauty, or whether to, as a father, he should have to pay the duty. So there is definitely going to be conflict, and which moral pluralism is suggesting, and it is saying that both the options could be right ethically, but choosing which option is a very troublesome situation. So that is the thing regarding moral pluralism. Now we'll go for theory number 9. Theory number 9 is focusing on ethical egoism, while theory number 10, the last theory, is about feminist consequentialism. So first we'll check what is there in ethical egoism, the theory number 9, then we'll go for theory number 10 as well. So here, ethical egoism says that one's actions are ethical if they promote the interests of a person who acts. See, this is giving completely opposite meaning compared to all the other theories. All the other theories are also giving priority that one should have to give importance to other people's rights as well as their interests. But here, ethical egoism suggests that one should have to act according to his or her own interest only. That means here the self-interest is given more priority. So definitely here the obvious inference is that ethical egoism does not respect the rights of others. If we discuss regarding right theory about utilitarianism, even though they are suggesting that one should have to act where is some maximum benefit, but it is just at the same time it is suggesting that one should not have to create any harmful effect for the other people. Other people's rights should also have to given more equal respect as well. But here, ethical egoism is not supporting that, and that's why many of the ethicists are considering that ethical egoism is not a proper theory, uh, and it is actually not giving the correct guidance regarding ethical way. Because if everybody is going to follow their own self-interest and they are going to give more priority to their own self-interest only, then people can interpret in a different way, and person can also think that even wrongdoing is also my self-interest, right? So that's why many of the ethicists are actually not considering ethical egoism as one of the good theory. So now let's go for theory number 10. So theory number 10 is feminist consequentialism. Here, they suggest that consequences should be evaluated in terms of their effect on relationship and feelings. If you remember, when we were discussing regarding moral uh, moral development theory, there were three moral development theory, if you remember, and the third theory, which was provided by Gilligan, and it was very popularly known as Gilligan's theory. There, Gilligan's theory was also having the same message. He was suggesting that for female, emotions, feelings, relationship are also one of the factor based on which they are deciding what is ethical, what is unethical. So similarly, this theory is also suggesting that one should have to check the effect of relationship and feeling whenever you are going to take any kind of action. Further, it says that if an action has negative consequence, such as destroying a relationship and hurting others, it is not considered ethical. So, if you are doing something and if you are actually hurting some people's emotions, you are playing with the emotions of other people, and that is actually creating harmful effect for them. There, actually, you are not doing ethical. So here, feminist consequentialism is actually giving more importance towards all those aspects. Okay, so here we are ending with all the 10 theories. Now, there is one activity for you. So we'll go for the activity, and you are quite familiar with this activity because we did this kind of activity previously as well. So what I'll do is I'll give some statement, and you have to match those statements with the given theories which are there on the right side. On the left side, there are some statements. So as you can notice, there are 9 statements, and one by one, you have to tell me that where we can relate. Okay, so we have to match with one of the theory, and we are going to do this activity, and all of you are going to participate now. So let's go for it. So first statement, as you notice, it is saying that religious indifferences. That means if I'll give you more idea here, you can relate now. So it is saying that when we discuss regarding the core value of any religion, so all the religion are suggesting one aspect that uh, one should have to focus on the peace. So, and it is a common message, and it is actually helping people to also find the peace. So religious indifferences here means that religion which are having a same message, one message only. So where we can relate, it is confusing. So what I'll do is I'll give you answer for the first statement. After second statement onwards, you are going to give me answer. So here, religious indifferences we can relate with moral absolutism. If you remember, in moral absolutism, it says that message of religion is peace. Now we'll go for second statement, which is saying that the rights are individualistic, and this should be protected. So you are having many options. Out of 9 options, one is gone, so you are left with 8 options. Now tell me where we can relate. It is talking about the rights are individualistic and this should be protected. So tell me which theory is applicable here. Think. It is talking about the individualistic rights. Yeah, Bharti Singh rights theory with question mark. Okay. Yeah, what about other people? What do you think? Where we can relate? Which theory is appropriate here? The rights are individualistic and they should be protected. So according to Bharti, rights theory is there. Is there anyone who is having similar opinion, or you are thinking a different option as well? Yeah, Aditya is also saying rights theory. So there are 2 people who are saying the same thing, rights theory. I tell you now the correct answer. Even Manan, even Riddhi, they are also saying rights theory. Guys, we are doing one exercise. This exercise can also help you to remember what we discussed previously, so that your preparation can also be in the same way. So, Manav, then Riddhi, Mohammed, even Patik, they are saying rights theory. Definitely, all of you are right here. This is related with rights theory. Now, let's go for the third. It is saying that learning from real life case studies. So, what do you think? What could be the appropriate one? Learning from real life case studies. It is not so difficult. Let me give you a clue. Uh, we discussed regarding this theory in our previous lesson. That means from theory number 1 to 5, any of the theory could be possible here. So now identify. Now you are having limited options. What could be the appropriate? Should I tell you the correct, or you are going to tell us? Okay, let me show you the correct answer for statement number 3. So here, the third one, which is saying that learning from real life case studies, it is related with casuist theory, where casuist theory is saying that learning from the past incident and then you can apply the similar in the current solution as well. So their casuist theory is appropriate. Let's go for fourth one, which is saying that each individual is in the best position to judge what will promote his or her self-interest. It is talking about self-interest. What do you think? And if I'll give you a clue here, we just discussed today in our session. Yeah, Bharati is saying ethical egoism. Okay. Yeah, Manav is also supporting that answer. So Manav, even Aditya, Nikita, Darshan, they are saying ethical egoism. All of them are saying ethical egoism. Definitely, guys, you are even Prithvi is also saying ethical egoism. So all of you are right. This is related with ethical egoism. So in ethical egoism, we just discussed that it is about our self-interest, the interest of a person who is performing action. That it is about self-interest. Now let's go for fifth one. It is easy, and definitely you can go for the correct answer. The fifth one, it is saying that maximum good to maximum people. So which is appropriate? Yeah, Bharti is saying utilitarianism. Okay, so we got one answer. Mohammed is also saying utilitarianism. Dhruvi is saying utilitarianism too. So Darshan, even Manav, both of them are also saying the same, utilitarianism. Aditya is also saying the same. Saif Ali is also saying utilitarianism. Yeah, so far many of the people got this answer. Now let's check whether it is appropriate or not. So yes, guys, you identified correctly. This is related with utilitarianism theory. Great going, good, good. So let's go for sixth one, which is saying that many kind of ethics may conflict. So where we can relate, many kind of ethics may conflict. And if I give you clue here, yeah, Bharati is saying moral pluralism. Okay, this theory we just discussed as a part of today's session. So there is only one answer. There are people who are going to write. Okay, we got answer from Manav, Mohammed. They are also saying moral pluralism. Aditya is also saying moral pluralism. So let's check. Definitely, this is related with moral pluralism, where it is saying that many times, many of the ethics may come into conflict. So yes, you guys are right. Let's go for seventh one. It is saying that the character of person performing the action. So where we can relate. And if I let me give you a clue for this, we discussed this theory previously. That means in previous lesson we had a discussion about this theory. This is the clue number one. If you are not going to identify, then I'll also give clue number two. Bharati is saying a virtue theory with question mark. Okay, there is a doubt, I guess. Manav is saying virtue theory. Riddhi is also saying virtue theory. Even Mohammed is saying virtue theory. Yeah, Nikita is saying virtue theory too. So definitely you guys got it. This is about virtue theory. Now let's go for eighth one. It is saying that duty and principle are part of Kantian theory. So it is easy. Now you can tell us. Krunal and Safe also replied for the previous one, virtue theory. Yeah. Now tell me, duty and principle are part of Kantian theory. So where we can relate this? Only two options are left, so it is easy task for you. Bharti is saying deontology. Nikita, Riddhi, Darshan, Manav, they are saying deontology. Even Shri, Mohammed, they are also saying deontology. Definitely all of you got that right. it is related with deontology. If you remember, deontology is provided by Immanuel Kant. The second name of this theory is Kantian theory, which all of you got the correct one. And last one, I'm not going to ask you which we can relate. Only option one, only one option is left. So the ninth one is saying that each individual is correct in his or her action based upon his or her belief. So it is actually related with moral relativism. So good guys, yeah, many people already replied Manav Darshan. They replied with moral relativism. You got it right. Uh, we had a great discussion and we also had a great exercise. And I'm also glad that you are having idea regarding what we discussed regarding theory. Keep doing it. Now we'll go for the attendance part. So give me a minute. I'm going to find a Google Form link and then I'll give you a Google Form link in your chat box. So yeah. Now let me paste the Google Form link. Okay, guys, the link is there in your chat box. You are requested to mark your attendance there in Google Form, and after marking the attendance, you are completely free from my side. Have a nice weekend, and we'll see next session. So don't forget to mark your attendance. Google Form link is pasted in the chat box. In case if you are facing any kind of difficulty, do let me know. As I am seeing many people are marking their attendance. I'm going to disable the Google Form link after 2 or 3 minutes. So if you are still doing, uh, do quickly so that you won't miss your attendance there. I hope you guys mark your attendance. Dharmik, Jay, Jaydeep, Mohammed, Nikita, Ratu, Nikita, Pranjul, Priyanshu, Raj, Saif, Preet, and Yash. I hope you guys mark your attendance because I'm going to disable the Google Form link. If not, then do mark quickly. And after marking your attendance, you can definitely leave for your next session. So guys, now I'm going to close this meeting for everyone. Have a great day.